Test. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Didn't mean to scream in your ear there, but I'm just juiced. I'm ready to go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. It's been, what, 3-4 days since we got to fly last. I was supposed to be flying a trip right now. I'm kind of disappointed that I dropped it. I put it on the trade board yesterday just to see if anybody would pick up my juicy trip to Bogota, because I wasn't really enthusiastic about getting up at 2 o'clock in the morning. And then right when I log in to pull it off the trade board, somebody picked it up. So that means we are here. If we can't fly to Bogota IRL, we're going to fly to Bogota in the sim, which is either the next best thing or is the best thing, with real life being the second best thing to fly in Bogota. It's up to, depends how you look at it. I mean, because sitting here, comfort of my own HQ, it's pretty nice as well. You know, instead it's a long flight, 8-hour round trip going to Bogota, so right at the limit of legality for a non-augmented crew. So it is a bit of a haul of a trip. So yeah, it is what it is. But we are here, we're live. I'm juiced up, I'm ready to go live. I hope you are. We haven't flown the Fenix in quite some time, so we're back. And for all those wondering, when I said GOAT in the title, I'm referring to the Fenix, not myself. I'm not self-proclaiming to be the GOAT at anything, just the Fenix. The greatest of all-time aircraft to ever exist in flight simulation. Here it is. Here we are, the 321, and I can't wait to fly it. Avianca livery fits the Airbus very nicely. It sure does, Jeremy Harvey. Thanks for tuning in, man. Good to see you. Love the Latin America theme song this afternoon as well. Hello, person. What's up, man? Thanks for the 2 months support. 2 months and counting. Keep it up. Hey, I'm ready to go, man. Thank you for the support. Here's the next 2 months, my friend. One other thing. A trip just popped in for tonight, a Fenix turn. If scheduling calls me for a 200%er, I'm going to pick it up. So if you guys hear my phone ringing, let me know. Hopefully I don't miss it. I have it right in front of my face, or I keep checking. It just popped in when I went live, and I'm like, there's no way I would be that lucky, right, that I would drop my one trip and then get called for a 200%er on a turn tonight to Fenix. So fingers crossed. I hope they call, although I just had some sushi and coffee, which is not really the best combination, so that's a little bit sus. But we'll see what happens. If they call, I am going to pick it up, and I'm going to go. So we'll see. Brad Ward, thanks for the 3 months support. No, you're the GOAT. No. There's plenty better than me, Brad Ward. I'm just here. I love having fun. I love teaching y'all, and I love it when you guys are so receptive. So appreciate you. Bill's Mafia, 14 months. Thank you for the support, my man. No. Definitely not the GOAT. Thank you, Bill's Mafia. Appreciate you, man. Dougal McTavish in the house. Good to see you, my friend. I had a message from a mate on live ops in Bogota. Trust me, you're better off in the sim than real world. Yeah. What are they landing north right now? What's the weather in Bogota? I should probably check, but yeah, we'll see. I mean, it was a good trip. I was actually really excited when I picked it up. But then the fact that I'm not doing it, I'm kind of like, oh, that's sad. Oh, well. Tanner Hoyt, keep them coming, boss. Thanks for the 3 months support, dude. Appreciate you. Very, very kind, my friend. Sushi and coffee. Now, that's a flavor combo. Yeah, I had, we went to the old Sam's Club this afternoon because, well, our kids are just endless, bottomless pits of fruit and whatever stuff they eat. So we went there, and then we got a little sushi tray on the way back, and I was like, well, I'm going to go ahead and eat some of that right now because I was going to have sushi on my overnight today anyway. But then I got to the office and said, hey, I need a coffee. So then I had a coffee, and I'm like, don't know about the coffee-sushi combo, so we'll see what happens. You need some roller dogs to fill that trio. I know. What's up, man? No dead sim, so refreshing. Sir Win Scott, welcome in, my friend. Yes, this is Microsoft 2024. The only issue I have here, we have black winglets on this livery. This is a 2020 livery. It's not fully compatible with 24 apparently, but I figure it's okay. They don't look that bad. It almost looks like they just are replacing them. Like they just had to repaint the winglets, so we got just a base layer of black on the winglets there, or the sharklets rather. But we are live time, live weather. I was going to run the time forward a little bit, but then I'm like, let's just roll it live time. Let's just see what it looks like. If it looked kind of mid, we can run it forward a little bit. But I think originally I was supposed to leave at 8:30 or 9 in the morning, so I'd be getting to Bogota around noon. Anyway, we'll see. We'll leave it as is for now. Fred, what's going on, man? Boeing 738, thanks for the $5 super chat. Just flew the Fenix 321-24. Best experience with Sim Update 1 2020 is dead to me. Fred, I am glad to hear it. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat, my friend. This is my first stream and first flight with the Fenix in Sim Update 1 beta of 2024. So All the other flying we have done has been in the standard version of 2024. This is the first one in the beta of 2024, so I can't wait. Bill's Mafia says, I flew with Spirit Monday, didn't know their pilots were allowed to butter. Oh yeah, dude, Spirit's a butter airline, man. I haven't been on a Spirit Airlines flight that hasn't been a butter as a passenger. They tend to grease them pretty good, man. They tend to grease them. So that's good to hear it. I'm glad you survived. No fights. Everything seemed okay. So that's good. Bill's Mafia, always a pleasure, man. Thanks for stopping by the stream. I was going to say something. Oh, my last trip into Dallas, y'all. 250, landing on runway 18 right, winds 250. Well, this is how it was originally. Winds 250 at 24, gust 31. And then right after he said that, it came back to, I just got a wind update for you. It's winds 250 at 31, gust 49. Almost a direct crosswind right at the limit of 38 knots. First attempt, a wind shear, go around, TCAS, super sus. Probably going to podcast it. Shook me up a little bit just because of the recent events of everything happening. Lowest wind shear I've had in the Airbus, 200 feet. 200-foot wind shear goes off. We power out. We got down to about, try not to exaggerate, I want to say we got down to close to 100 feet. So we lost 100 feet at full Toga, which is pretty sus. We might have even got lower than that. I'd have to check. Might get a call on that one, so I'm going to hold up all my thoughts on that, you know, fill it out report, whatever. But, yeah, that woke me up a little bit. Second attempt, come back around was fine. Airplane handled crosswind just fine. But, yeah, I haven't had a wind shear that strong in quite some time, and I've never had one that low in the Airbus. I had a really nasty one in an Embraer departing Indy. I've talked about that story one time. One of the few times I've been truly scared in an airplane. That was one of them. I wouldn't say I was scared on this one, but I definitely had some thoughts running through my mind, and I'll share those. Maybe we'll get up to cruise. Maybe I'll podcast it. Maybe not. We'll see. But praise God, down safe. Everybody's happy. No bent metal. Stopped at Buc-ee's on the way home. All is good. So let's go ahead and fire this bird up and get the show on the road. What do y'all say, huh? Here we go. Up to the overhead. Let's get it juiced up here. Let me make sure my sounds are all the way up. Yes, sir. We'll get sounds up about 75% right there. That looks good. We'll go ahead and turn on battery power. Here we go. Now, I will say this, too. For those in the members part of the Discord, you probably saw this. The first time, well, not the first time, I hopped in the Airbus on the start of my last trip. No joking aside. I got into the cockpit, and I'm like, huh. This seems pretty retro compared to all the A350 that we've been flying around. So hopefully that's not a sign. Hopefully that's not a sign. But yeah, compared to the 350, man, this thing is retro, which makes the 737 like more than retro. Let me see if they assign that trip to anybody here. Did I need to change my panties? Not quite, Josh, but it wasn't a good feeling, man. I'll tell you that. It was not a good feeling, my man. 737 is a museum piece. Moving to Atlanta confirmed. Ah, man. You know, the only problem, man, the 350 is so juiced, but it's just too long range.
Check. Thought I just heard the word podcast. Was I imagining it? Yep, I heard that your day FW arrival was beyond spicy.
Yep.
Super glad you made it safe and sound. Cheers, Cap.
Callie Simmer, thank you so much for the $10 bank angle check. And how about that? I didn't have it muted for you. Thank you so much, Callie Simmer. Appreciate $10 bank angle check. Did a short visit in LA there. We had 12 hours. I didn't have enough time. I saw the place, Callie Simmer, you told me to go to, but I caved, went to In-N-Out first. Next time I'm there, I think I'll either Uber it or Uber Eat it. But we didn't have a whole lot of time, so I just went and grabbed a In-N-Out, came back. But thank you so much, Callie Simmer. I appreciate the support. And I do have a long LA coming up, so there is another chance I will visit that. So, Flight Force 77, 36 months. I got my wings, man. It's like a reunion. What's the last time we streamed? Flight Force, thank you so much for the support, dude. 36 months, wings are looking good, my man. I thought I had a sneeze there. Aviation Dude 95, thank you for the 5-month support as well. Hello and good afternoon, sir. Nabil El Hamdoui, what is going on, my man? Thank you for the 10 gifted memberships to the channel. Very, very kind. Appreciate you. Nabil has made it big time, y'all. He's making trailers now for Green Dot Aviation Official. Pretty cool, man. He had to fly the DC-9 or 707, whatever it was, the Aeroplane Heaven one, I think, right? He took one for the team, but that trailer looked juicy, Nabil, and I can't wait to watch that one live on the channel with you sticking around. So appreciate all the support. Thank you for the 10 gifted memberships, my man. Very, very kind of you. Very kind. All right, overhead is good. Let's come down here. Let's go down here. Let's do a status, a recall check. That all looks good. Normal. How's our hydraulics looking? They are good. Now, further, let's talk about this real quick here, because I did some further assessments on my last stream, or last flight. You know how somebody brought up, you can't read the door oxy page? I moved my head all over the cockpit, and no matter where I put myself, I can read that down there. So I don't know why we can't read it fully. I should be able to see that fully, unless maybe there's too much space here. I think that, well, I don't know, because there's got to be something else that pops up here. I don't know. I don't know why that is, but I can tell you it's very difficult in a normal seating position to block the top of this bottom ECAM here. So if I think Fenix is, I'm probably dead to Fenix after all our situations, but that is, I tried to figure out how I could cut that view in half, but anyway. Full sim update 1 going live in the next few hours. Ooh, Nabil, fantastic, man. Well, everyone gets to join the party then. All right, here we go. Alternate of SKCC. What's that, Cali? We are operating as Avianca 357, cost index 55, cruise altitude. We filed 34,000 feet. 340. I had another weird thing happen to me on my last trip, too. I couldn't get the cruise altitude to get more than 34. And I was like, there's no way we're restricted to 34. We're only 145,000 pounds. And I don't know what it was. It was just doing something funky. I don't know if it, I mean, it was plus 10 ISO. It's pretty hot. But we were, all my perf data said we could get above 34,000 feet, but the box wouldn't let us go above it. So that one is still on the question mark list. I don't know what happened there. I thought maybe the weights were zeroed incorrectly or something, but I don't know. A lot of weird things happened on that last trip. I tell you what, it was a 3-day trip, and boy, did it feel like a 3-day trip. It was a long 3-day trip. All right, we are on the It's F Foxtrot off runway 11. Oh, no, I lied. We're on the Datu to Foxtrot. Dato to Foxtrot. Insert that. That looks good. TNCA. Queen Beatrice Airport all the way down to Skibo. What's the wind down there? Because this has me landing 3-4, which I feel like that's kind of sus. Let's go ahead and load aircraft. 230 packs. Ooh, baby. Let's do a fast 9 minutes. Let's go back to my flight. Weather, arrival, 330 at 8. Winds are out of the north. Okay, so planning 3-4 left. Vicinity in the showers. All right, I love it. I love it. 3-4 left is an RNAV only, isn't it? Or 3-2, excuse me. What did I file? SimBrief put us on 3-2 right. So, RNAV Delta, Whiskey, Charlie. Ooh, this is going to get spicy. I haven't landed north in a while. I'll tell you what, let's look at the chart here. See what we got. Let's see what we got down here. Arrival. Nope. Approach. What's up, Luke? The McDo looks so small now. I know, after looking at the 350 all the time, right? Okay, 3-2 right, RNP visual flight procedure. Are they only visuals? RNP Zulu 3-2 left, RNP Zulu 3-2 right. Yankee. Oh, it's coming through the mountains. Spicy. I think we'll take this one. Let's take the Yankee off of Oplek. Ooh, this one looks even better. Let's do Omvis. Let's do the RNAV Whiskey 3-2 right from Omvis. What'd I say? I have short-term memory today. RNAV Whiskey 32 right. RNAV, do I even have that one? RNAV Whiskey 32 right. The star we filed was Ilsev. So we'll come down here. The Ilsev for Whiskey. Approach via AMVs. Insert. That should link up beautifully. All right. Honest thought about 350. Disappointed or impressed? I am not disappointed. I haven't had any issues post-release, but there have been a lot of issues reported. So I can only give you what I have seen from my own personal experience, which has been pretty good. But there are plenty of y'all, especially in the Discord, that have issues on a daily basis. So there's that to consider. Are there any hot Colombian girls on board the flight? I'm sure there are, my man. I'm sure there are. All right, flight plan is in the box. We'll go secondary. Let's do a quick initialization of TNCA. TNCA. Drew Smith, what's up, my man? Secondary, I'll come back here. We'll just come back to 11 ILS Zulu. That's fine. Secondary perf data. Drew Smith, 4 months of support. Commercial pilot member, man. Very kind of you. Appreciate you. 211 in the barrel. Oh, I kind of stopped these hiccups. It's going to be annoying. We'll zero out the winds. Temperature. It's hot out there. 30. Might have to actually do a Toga out of here. QNH. We'll do a magic barrel ref update. 29 or 88. 29 or 88 is set. RadNav. Nothing to hard tune. Progress page. We'll put TNCA in the box. Perf data and NIT B. We will bring it right here. I guess we'll go to the NIT B. There we go. Fueling has completed 20.5, so let's go ahead and get this on here. We'll turn those on, prime the APU. We'll put 20.5 in the box. Make sure it's balanced. It is. Wonderful. And we are almost ready to go. Top altitude, we'll put in 340. And fire up the Apu. Here we go. Oh, we got a, what's that? A Wingo. Wingo next door. Sushi and coffee will cause that. I know. No, dude. I'm trying a new coffee place too. The same place that I get all my my Thai tea, my boba tea. They just started doing coffees, and this one's really good. I got it iced. I didn't want it iced, but it's pretty good. Josh, I did a poll. Time permitting, we're going to do a turbine Duke flight after the stream. So I didn't realize you guys would actually vote for a prop. So we're going to do a turbine Duke stream after this, since it's the best King Air that we have in the sim, because we don't have a King Air in the sim yet. But yeah, absolutely, man. That's the juice. We're going to set that up. That's if I don't get called. And that's also the reason why we're doing a shorter flight today. I was going to go from Toncontin, but that was going to be about 2.5 hours en route. I figured let's do a shorter flight, 1.5 hours, and then do a second stream in the turbine Duke. What if battery 1 or 2 dies en route? Nothing, man. You should be fine. Should be fine. You don't need them. As long as you have everything else running. Hopefully you don't need to start the APU, because if you need to start the APU, then you might be host. But if battery 1 dies, that'd actually be a good ECAM to look at. I don't know if that's ever, I mean, that'd be an interesting one, because you need battery bus to start the APU, but you can do a generator assisted start, and I think you can do that with 1 battery. So we'll have to, that's an interesting one. I wish I had my iPad with me, because I would actually kind of want to look that up. All right, everything else is ready to go. 340 is set. How is the boarding process? Let's come back here. Departure. No, let's go. Nope. Let's go here. Ground ceviches. We're still boarding, so we're fine. We're just sitting at the ramp, chilling. Chilling at Hotel Bay St. Beatrice. Did you ever fly the King or an X-Plane? I did, Shakovic, and I loved it, man. If you're referring to the Airfoil Labs, yeah, loved it. Great airplane, man. Great airplane. Not 100% accurate, but it was the closest thing that we had on X-Plane. Closest thing we had to a real accurate King Air was the Airfoil Labs King Air. I would argue, and I know Phantom would probably argue me on this one, I would argue the Turbine Duke is the better simulation of the turboprop of the PT6 in Microsoft 24 than the Airfoil Labs was. But that's also not 100% accurate because there's still some inaccuracies in 24 or Microsoft sim limitations and stuff. Mostly have to do with the laggy or the PT6 is a pretty responsive motor. There's not a lot of lag when you set torque. And I feel like almost every PT6 that comes out, there's like this extra amount of torque lag that's not really there in a real PT6. So, yeah, Vodka's right. The ITTs were also off. There were a couple things with Airfoil Labs, but remember, I haven't flown it in a very long time, so I'm sure a lot of these things could have been updated or changed. So I don't know what state it is in now, but it's still a really good simulation, man. I had a lot of fun with it. How often do I drink boba tea? Only in the summer when it's hot, and only when I stream, pretty much. If I do. Did I see the 7.6 bird strike? I did. Pretty wild, man. Dougal says, I've been flying the hell out of the 350. Like it, but wow, is it twitchy. It's a fingertip airplane, Dougal. A fingertip airplane, man. All right, there is 3 minutes. We'll go ahead and get the APU bleed on. We'll disconnect the external power. Let's come over here. Close up U. We'll get rid of the aft stairs. We'll get rid of the aft cargo door, or aft, I guess, boarding door, you would call that. We will go over to, let's get our taxi diagram out. Oh, that's weird. There's like if you mouse wheel down and then click, it tries to reset your view. Gets all wonky. All right, Beatrix International. Blasting off 1-1, we'll taxi via Gulf. That'll be pretty simple. All right. Reset the chrono. Ooh, there's a Star Alliance, something down there. My family wants to go to Jamaica again, but I don't want to spend 4 hours on a 737. Neither do I, my man. See if you can take a boat, maybe. Sim Update 1 is live now? Really? Hopefully it doesn't force me off the stream. So can you only fire the bird with bat 1 and 2 on? I'm not sure what you mean by that, Friction Mafia. You don't have to, you could turn the bird on, or you can turn the airplane on without batteries if you have ground power. You can connect ground power, you don't even need the batteries on. My Windows is currently downloading Sim Update 1 right now. Ooh, all right. Well, welcome to Sim Update 1. Vodka, get it. Download it, man. Let's go. Team Vodka, it's time for you to come to the light side. 2024 Sim Update 1. The water is warm, ladies and gentlemen. Please jump in. It is warm, and I'm telling you, you'll get a handful of flights in 2024, and you'll never go back to 2020. Especially with some surprises that I got coming up my sleeve here for y'all. Maybe tomorrow. You're going to be like, all right, this time. Okay, we're still in the prelim load sheet. Oh, yeah, we got quite a few people, man. 230, yeah. So we're only 20 more folks to load up, 20 more folks. Everything else is done, though. I guess we'll throw terrain on. There's not much out there. We've got terrain on. We'll get constraints on the ND here. 340 is blue. We're waiting on our speeds to be set. Everything else looks good. Up top, bleeds are on. And actually, that should be on 1, and that should be an auto. I kind of missed those. That looks good. We'll disconnect the ground power unit. We're good to pull ground power. Give them the signal out front. And is there a CTAF for this lovely airport here? Let's see. .CTAF TNCA 118.0. I really need that WinWing radio thing. That looked like an Airbus. What's the latest on that? Is that thing out yet? 118.0. We're squawking 2,000. Radio check 18.0. Nobody's on it, but it looks like it's working on mine. What is CTAF? It's a frequency, Common Traffic Advisory Frequency, that VATS Iveo Premium wants you to look up before you go anywhere. Instead of using the global 22.8 They've made an extra step to make it extra unrealistic and use a CTAF frequency now. There's a company message. I think that is a load sheet. Let's take a look at that. Ooh, we got four non-revs on board plus a jump seater.
Radio check to Rubel.
1x5. Can you dispatch with batteries in op? No. No, you cannot dispatch with them inoperative. No. Vodka's waiting for sim update 10. Steam spring sales next week.
0x5.
So are you. How is CTAF unrealistic? Because it's just dumb. It's just an extra step. It's more realistic to have everybody on the same freak instead of like 70% of the people that know how to do CTAF versus and the 30% that are still on 22.8. And then everyone complains when everyone was on 22.8. They're like, well, there's too many people talking on the frequency. I'm like, well, that's actually what a real CTAF sounds like. If you've ever been to an airport that has a CTAF and there's airports surrounding that airport, the first thing you listen for is the airport identifier, because if they don't say the airport identifier, then you don't know which airport they're talking to. So that would be more realistic to have to decipher that and have realistic radio communication. Now they make every single airport have their own little tiny little CTAF, which is... V1, do you still turn the batteries on first in the sim instead of going straight to external power? Why do you still turn the batteries on first in the sim? Because that's, Jeremy, we want to make sure they're working. And that's the only way we can verify that the off light is still working here. So we go battery 1 on, that powers the off light for battery 2, and then when we shut down, I turn battery 2 off, and battery 1 fault light, or battery 1 light illuminates, or no, then I go 1 off first, and then this light is off. So 1, 2 on, 1, 2 off, if that makes sense. But theoretically, Jeremy, you could come up here and just turn the external power on. Now, what sometimes, and they've kind of gotten away from this, we used to, back in the day, when we were swapping crews and the crew wasn't at the jet bridge, we'd leave the ground power hooked up, we'd turn the batteries off. That way, if the ground power dropped out, we wouldn't drain the batteries, the airplane would just go dead. So, because guys were leaving the batteries on and the ground power on, and then sometimes the jet bridge power would drop off, and now guess what? You're on battery power, you're draining batteries. So we would commonly just turn the batteries off, leave the ground power on. The next crew that shows up to the airplane turns them on. You still see it every now and then, but we have different SOPs now specifically for swapping crews now, but it wasn't always like that. CTAF is good in theory only. I agree, Dougal. And I think you could implement it at maybe, I think Europe has a bunch of problems with it because you got a bunch of big international airports close to each other. I think there maybe would be a good idea. Or I think it should just be, if everyone's so concerned, just every Class Bravo tower, just use the tower frequency at every Class Bravo airport. There you go. Problem solved. I don't know. I feel like there's other ways that it could have... I don't know. Who knows, man? I'm just anti-CTAF. All right. I think we're ready to finally get out of here, though, are we? Aircraft is aborted. Good. Let's close up the doors, pull the chocks and cones. We will get rid of the jet bridge. We'll connect the tug. Let's run some weights, run some numbers here. All right, so these are our actual numbers. We'll send those to the McDo. What's up, man? Europe definitely needs CTAF. You get Stansted, Heathrow, Gatwick all together. Okay, perfect, Infian. So why don't they just make a note saying, if you're flying to Gatwick, Heathrow, Stansted, utilize primary tower frequency when there's no controller online. So, I don't know. Could be a solving of the issues. All right, TNCA 11. There we go. We'll sync the load sheet. We're doing a Toga chat. Are we doing packs on or off? I want to do packs off. Better hit that like button. We'll sync the live weather. We'll calculate it. We'll see what it gives us here. 44, 49, 50. Flap 2. 1,500 on the thrust redux. I guess we'll leave it. That's fine. We'll send that to the McDo. Maybe 1,000 feet for us. But here we go. 44, 49, 50. Flaps 2 up 0.7. Can I manually change it? 1510. So let's do 1010. Of course I can change it. It's the Fenix, and it's 100% realistic. I love it. Perfect. Manually adjusted our thrust redux. Everything looks good. Let's get the beacon on. 50% of VATSIM users don't know what Class B airspace is. You do have a point there, Bills. You have a point, my man. All right. We are up and running. Let's go ahead and... Why are you still connected, though? All right, there we go. Let's pull the shade back. Canopy has been pulled back. There goes the jet bridge. Here we go. Beatrice Airport. Avianca 357 pushing back 87. We're going to taxi in runway 11. Beatrice. Straight back. Here we go. Cockpit to ground. You ready for brake release? Ground to cockpit. Roger. Clear to release brakes. Brakes release. Clear to push. We're going runway 11. You're still not on Freak? I'm on 18. Yeah, I'm on 18.0, AJ. I'm on 18.0. You don't hear me? It says I'm on 18.0. That's lighting up. I don't trust anything you say, AJ. You're a saboteur. But on my end, it's working. Okay, that's as far back as we're going to go? Okay.
Check your volume knob.
It's up. It's up and lit. Unless vPilot is changed my mic, and sometimes it does that, which it appears it has. Microphone device. Test, test, test. Test, test, test. Test, test. There we go. 18.0 radio check.
That's clear.
There we go. Sometimes vPilot does that to me too. It messes up my microphone. Alright. Ready to start? Before start checklist. Windows, doors, and slides. Close and arm. Beacon on. Thrust levers idle. Parking brake is on. Before start check is complete. Turn in 1, ladies and gentlemen. Should we do it outside? Let's do an outside engine start. I'm trying to think. I'll just start it and I'll walk out there. Mickey G, if you like to fuck, you might want to hang on to those emojis for tomorrow or next week or sometime soon. They still haven't assigned anybody this trip yet. I have to leave. I'd have to leave at 3. It's 1:30. I could be home in 30 minutes. Man, they better call me sooner than later. Come on, call me. Although I really want to do this stream, but I would have to go on this trip if they call me. Be the universe coming together. All right, we got 2 good starts. Back to normal. Go here. We're doing a flap a duh. I love.
Jack 404, push straight back. G2.
That doesn't look straight back to me. I love the red flap track fairings. Looks so good. Flaps too. Look at that flap. Come on, man. I mean, the 350 is a whole lot of fun, but Fenix is the juice, man. All right, up and running. Flaps 2. It's a short taxi. Let's just go ahead and do our checks here. Make sure everything is running. After start checklist. Anti-ice is off. Yellow electric pump is off. Rudder trim 0. After start checklist complete. We should be up 0.7. And let's do a quick flight control check because I have been messing with my Moza. So here we go. Full up. Full down. Neutral. Full left. Full right. Neutral. Rudder. Full left. Full right. Neutral. Everything looks good up top. Let's go. Taxi lights coming on. Beatrice Airport, Bianca 357, taxi runway 11. Here we go. Let's roll. Zippy, what's up, man? 200% more important. Do eat. Oh, I will if they call. They haven't called me yet. My phone audio is on, so you probably hear it ring if it goes off. I officially deleted. Uh-oh. Hold on. This is coming from Thrustset Sim, who is very particular in his simulations. Thrustset Sim says, I officially deleted 2020 from my system today. Actually wiped my old system and started over. 2024 only. Hey. One of us now, Thrustset. Thank you so... Or I don't even know why I'm saying thank you, man. Enjoy it. I hope it's everything you ever dreamed of, dude. I personally think it is the more realistic experience. Now, I understand the scenery aspect of things. I understand flying into default airports is super cringe to a lot of people, especially when you spend a lot of money on sceneries that are in 2020. I get it. So I'm not trying to say that your opinion is wrong and mine is right, but it is of my opinion that I get more out of my sim with the flight modeling and the handling in 24 that I'll deal with the scenery stuff for now because my experience elsewhere in the sim is just that much better. So, but awesome, Thrustset. Hope it works out good for you, my man. Hamburger says, but I'm wrong. Negative. Look at that Aero Sucra 7.2 right there. Come on. I missed the 727. When are we going to get the 727 working at 24? Come on, FSS. Oh my goodness. Is that like a 40 anniversary? Yeah, 40 años. Alright, brake check, pressure 0. Here we go. Auto brakes max. Takeoff config is checked. We're going to go up here. Auto. That's an auto, TARA, and on. We're still waiting on the cabin. Look at that juice.
Going to be your traffic, or Sucra 81, taxi on the second Bianca to 11.
727 cargo locks, or cargo door locks are a juice? Yeah, Friction Mafia, they are, man. Remember that cargo sound, that cargo door sound? And then it just... I really missed that 7.2. I gotta see if it's been updated yet.
4, taxi and runway 11. And, well, let's fall train.
What do you find better about the model in the 24? Just curious. I'm not an Airbus guy, so I can't speak to it. Positive rate. And the best way, I like explaining it this way because it's just a little bit shorter. In 2024, flying feels more natural and more fluid. In 2020, everything feels more mechanical and... rigid is not really the right word, but not as organic. 2024 is organic. 2020 is Walmart choice beef. That's the difference, really, man. It's small, subtle differences, and some airplanes it shines more than others. But I'm telling you, there is a difference there. So if you're really going after the experience of the fluid simulation in flight, I don't know how you could turn it down in 2024. New audio source for Boris there. Where's that? Oh, for the 7.2? That would be something, man. In 2024, but I keep 2020 for several aircraft. Yeah, I've kept my 2020 installed for one airplane only now, and that's the 7.5. Because I would not be able to live with myself if the 757 dropped and I didn't have 2020 on my system anymore. That's the only reason I have it installed now. I prefer in and out beef quality. So 2024 is Costco then. Yeah, you could say that. Costco Prime beef. Although I don't even eat Costco beef anymore that much. I mean, back in Texas we do. We have a local butcher we go to now. $2020 Sam's Club. It is true, man. Sam's Club is the Walmart of Costco's. But I mean, we shop there. We like their fruit. I'm sure it's super natural to have strawberries the size of your head, but our kids go through fruit like I don't even know what. It's just insane. We don't give them a lot of sugar. We try not to. And other than fruit sugar, which I know there's sugar in fruit, but man, you get a box of blackberries, they'll eat it all in one day. All right. Look at that lineup. Nice little lineup coming down here. Aruba traffic, Avianca 357 departing runway 11. Be a right turn out to the southwest, Beatrice Airport. Here we go. Let's light it up. Are we doing packs off yet? 150 likes. We're still not at 250 likes. I guess we're doing packs on. You guys are just so mid. Let's go. Even if you eat healthy, you end up dead. That is a true story, man. No one's getting out of here alive. Mickey G says, yeah, my 3 and 1-year-old eat all the blackberries in one sitting. Dude, 100% Mickey G, 100%. So we got 3 or 4. Oh, we got 3 blackberry tubs and 3 raspberries this time. And I'm sure they'll be half gone by the time I get home. My lineups have been a little off. I was turning the Airbus like a 350 at work too. Got to get back on it. There we go. That looks a little better. We cheated though. See how far we pulled forward? That's, I mean, most people would say, oh, that's a good lineup, but it's not really. Look how far forward I am. It's all right. All right. No 250 likes? Nope, we're not there. That's fine. Let's pull them up 50. Let's go. Toga's in chat. Yoga's in chat. Up we go. Oh, yeah, that sounds good. I've missed this sim. That phase out. Let's go. Man, Toga, SRS runway, auto thrust, bleh. Thrust set. Simulations. 100 knots, check. V1. Rotate. Nice and easy, don't hit the tail. Positive rate, gear up, fly with, watch your ears. Can't wait for thrust reduction, it's going to be the best part. Here she comes, thrust reduction from just in front. Goodness me. All right, we're starting to lose speed. Let's actually lower the nose. Flaps 1, speed checks, flaps 1. Look at the, what's that? There's smokestacks down there. What is that situation? Are we really set standard already? Standard set. Oh, we got some windmills off the nose here. Oh man, forget the SID. This is just beautiful. Bank angle check to the right. Here we go. Looks like we had auto retract. Yes, we did. And there's flaps, or S-speed, flap 0. Clean it up. Look at that S-speed shoot up. Man, what is our min clean? Our min clean was
traffic, for 881, taxi, landing up and waiting.
215? 230. Wow. Yeah, min clean 230 there. What's our weight? Yeah, 176. We're heavy. Yeah, we are heavy. Bank angle check. Here we go. Man, that makes me want to go on vacation down there. What did the bill say? I gotta go back. Oh my gosh, I'm going to stall it out because I was trying to read the chat. Watch that speed, speed, speed. Man, I underestimated how heavy we were. We're not in grave danger. We're in an Airbus. We got protections. I love it, man. Been flying from the up front view all week, so being able to look out the wings is kind of cool. Black smoke is from a drinking water plant? Surely it's not. We'll turn the sim down to a bearable level for now. Looks like it's pretty much straight out from here, isn't it?
River traffic, Supra 881, taking off runway 11.
Sounds like he's saying bourbon traffic, but I think he's saying Aruba. Sterile chat below 10. I know. Come on, DeBell. What's going on with that? Back on the SID here. What if your battery dies now? Nothing. You have an obsession with the battery today, Friction Buffy. See? Nothing. And I don't know if a battery has ever just died on an Airbus. I'm sure it has. But it's not just going to be, it's not going to be 25.6 volts when you start up and then take off and go to 0 volts. Unless it comes disconnected or catches fire, then maybe. Josh. There's 10,000 feet. We'll lower the nose. We're pitched to accelerate. Let's go ahead and clean up the lights. Those are coming off. Forward call. Can we appreciate the appropriate direction of the light switches? Secondary copy. Rad nav. Nothing. Progress. We'll put Skibo in there. Almost straightened out, and we'll put Delta Ops on number 2 here. Delta Ops is up on 2, recording or listening. The Citgo plant, really, Bo? All right, we're getting ready to climb through 11. Pretty straight out. Autopilot 1 engaged. Full screen cam is coming online. Don't need the terrain on ND anymore. Get rid of you. Climbing up to 340. Would losing the battery bus have a similar effect? Not super up to date on my Airbus electrical.
Traffic. Course of 4, land runway 11, large traffic.
Losing the bat bus. I'd have to check. I'd have to see if... Surely you could power the APU with the batteries dead. Right? You guys are going to just keep asking me questions so we shut them both off. Okay, batteries are off. We're fine. We got cross generators. Now let's see. My only question is if we can we start the APU with no battery? And that's my only question. I know we can do an assisted generator start, but I thought you needed one battery, or you needed some bat juice. APU battery start. APU auto shutdown. Yeah, look at that. See, that is simulation, chat. Holy deep simulation. APU auto shutdown, master switch off. You can't, that's what I was afraid of. With both batteries completely off, you can't power the board to activate the start sequence. Now, you can if you have one battery, or if you have just a little bit of juice. It's all about how much juice you got, because you could do an assisted generator start. But with no batteries on at all, you can't start. You can't start it. Now, I don't know. We just in-opt our APU. I don't know if dropping the rat would allow us to start it. I don't know. I'd have to look. I'd have to look at a dual bat failure in my own book. Is there a... I know they have documents in here. I never use this page. I feel like I should use it more. QRH. I don't think it's in the QRH. It takes a while to load it up. Someone get Amir on the line. If I had my iPad, I could look it up for you in like 5 seconds. These are all advisory. I mean, these are all the QRH. I don't think a dual bat is in the here. Is in the QRH. But that would be a great question to figure out. Is our APU still dead? Did we cook it? Yeah, our APU is toast. We just toasted our APU. Did we blow a breaker? Did we pop any breakers when we did that? Amir's probably like, oh, it's on Sierra 7 on the 112 VU. Those are all in. The easiest way to tell is kind of look down the side like this. I don't think we popped any breakers. It'd say CB trip. And if it was on the overhead, it's monitored, so we'd know it. Nothing's tripped on the overhead. The rat cannot start the APU. I don't think so. Not without a battery on. Who needs an APU? It's not like you're going to be landing anywhere tropical. So now we've got an in-op APU for our landing. That's all right. We're getting ready to do a bank angle check here. Let's get out here for cinematic turn view. I bet the Fenix 350, or I bet the Fenix 350 would have got that right. Yeah. Turn it down a little bit here. Are you allowed to touch the breakers in flight? Yes, one time. You can do one reset in flight. Correct. I'm just glad it's not all my fault this time. Here's a question for you. If you badly crash a plane in a level D sim, can you possibly damage the simulator? Yes, Throttletek. Matter of fact, when we were doing EET training, enhanced envelope training, where you take the airplane to its absolute limits of overstress, overbank, unusual attitudes, flying with just the rudder. The sims were getting so aggressive that they were braking. So they turned down the field units, or not the field units, but they turned down how aggressive the sim was behaving. Especially for the also for the no flap, no slat landing, which is a type ride, and sometimes they do it in recurrent. Guys were slamming it in so hard that the sims were breaking, and the floors were cracking, the slabs were cracking that they're mounted on. So they had to turn down. They had to turn it down. But yes, absolutely, you can damage the level D sim. You might have the voltage from Gen 1 and 2, but the APO will draw too many amps and the engine cannot solely produce that many amps alone, I assume.
Perfect driving. Like 1124 reporting runway 11.
I don't think it's that. I think it's less complex than that. I think it solely has to do with the APU start bus gets power from the battery. And if you can't power the start bus, it doesn't matter if you've got a generator online to juice it up, it won't turn on because the start bus is off. I want to say that's it. Because a battery start is extremely draining, but a battery assisted or a generator assisted start is not that terrible. You can use the RAT as a generator assisted start. So if you're flying up at cruise altitude 39,000 feet, and which is above the battery start altitude of the APU, so you're flying along 390 above battery start altitude, both IDGs boom, offline. Okay, so now you got no juice. If you go up there and try to start the APU at 39,000 feet with no juice, dead battery, you're a dead stick, you're going into the water probably, or whatever you're over. Now, if you wait 7 to 10 seconds for the RAT to spin up online, then you have what's called an assisted generator start from the RAT, which could then help you. But still, the ECAM is not going to direct you to start the APU until you get below battery start altitude, which is like, what, 28, 26, somewhere down there? So that's like one of the gotchas is on a loft flight. You're at cruise altitude, 39,000 feet. Both gens just, boom, pop offline. Completely black cockpit here because it takes 7 to 10 seconds for the RAT to spin up and provide power. If you instinctively just, I got to do a solely, I'm starting the APU, and you go up there and try to start it at battery only, not a good thing. You're going to drain your batteries. You could damage them, core lock the APU. There's a bunch of things that could happen that could really prevent you from having a safe landing. Because even though the engines are on, if you've got no electrical juice at all, no electrical, you're dead. So hydraulics may be the lifeblood, but electrical power is your DNA. So if you don't have any DNA, you're not alive. Well, that doesn't make sense because you have DNA in dead things. So I guess hydraulic fluid is your DNA, and the lifeblood is battery power. Or electrical power, I should say. You need something electrically powered because you have to electrically activate the actuators that move the hydraulic flight control surfaces. So that's kind of, and people are like, well, what about Soli? Soli went up and turned the APU on immediately after they had 2 bird strikes, and they were below, what, like 10,000 feet? They were super low level, so battery start there is fine. And technically they were still generator assisted because I think one of the engines was still producing a little bit of power. So, different scenario. But then, after that happened, everyone was like, if I ever lose both generators, I'm just going to do auto APU start. No, that's not a good thing to do. Do planes ever have dead batteries in the winter? Yeah, they do, Dylan. I wouldn't say dead. That's pretty rare. You could have batteries below voltage, especially when it's super cold. So there's a battery charging procedure, which on the Airbus is super easy. You connect the ground power, and then you reconnect the batteries, and you let it charge for 30 minutes. Other airplanes have other battery charging techniques. You could do... There's also like cold temperature operations for minus... I want to say once it gets below minus 30, there's like some supplemental stuff that you can do before starting up. There's a cold weather procedure. Minus 40 C, pretty much everything comes to a halt. At minus 40 C, a lot of airplanes aren't going to be starting up. That's a hard limitation. Between minus 40 and minus 43. V1 simulations? No. Biology simulations. There we go. Yeah. It would be the nervous system. Okay, there we go. Sorry for asking the battery questions. Just interested to hear what the effect might be. No, don't be sorry, Friction Mafia. It's a good question. We got the answer. So, no, don't be sorry for asking the question. Our nervous system runs on electric impulses too. So I don't understand. So Thrustset, which one is the nervous system? The hydraulic or the electrical? Fred, thanks for the $5 super chat, man. Did you hear about the ghost TAs? Yes, I did. We're receiving a final in DCA earlier in the week. Yes, I did. If so, do you have any knowledge? I don't know what could be causing them, but I tell you what, that's a scary thing to have, because now that we know that the CRJ crew got a TA before crashing into the Black Hawk or being hit by the Black Hawk, I bet you a lot of pilots were getting the non-warm and fuzzies on that one. I don't know what causes it. Military jamming. It can confuse own ships sometimes. So it looks like there's somebody literally right on top of you, but it's your own shadow. I don't know what causes it, but I have seen it. I've experienced it. And in the light of it happening on the, just on the heels of the accident they just had in DC, not a good thing. I don't know if there was something active over there. I don't know. I mean, Mickey G probably knows all the confidential stuff, but I've been subject to multiple I feel like multiple military tests of jamming. I've been in cruise before with all the JIPWIZ alarms going off. I've been completely jammed. I've lost all GPS. I've had a handful of those scenarios, especially doing like red-eye stuff over white sands and the missile ranges. And actually, the last one I had was DFW, I want to say a year ago. And it was actually NOTAM that said, yeah, there's some jamming going on or something. I don't know what or why. But everybody was losing GPS coming into DFW on the arrivals, which caused mayhem. But yeah, I don't know the ins and outs of it, but they've got some pretty cool stuff, man. Let's just say I would not want to be on the other end of intentional military devious activity. So like I would not want to be the enemy flying an airplane with what they can do. Flight controls are muscles. Hydraulic is blood. Electrical is nerves. Okay, there we go. So that's a good way to put it, Operator Dirt. We've got our biology straight. Which makes sense. Muscles move the flight controls. Blood is our hydraulic fluid. But if you don't have any electrical, or if you don't have any nervous system, you're not going to be able to send an electrical signal to move the muscles. XP in the house. Dude, XP, I was going to hit you up, man. I was going to have 30 hours in Old Lauderdale today. But I put my trip on the trade board because I was like, maybe someone will pick it up. And sure enough, they picked it up. And then I was sad. I was doing another Bogota, man. But good to see you, XP. Hope all is well. Hey, XP, Sim Update 1 is official now. I think you can uninstall 2020, dude. Come to the dark side. Come to the dark side, XP 72. Hope you're feeling better too, man. Are you using recommended side stick sensitivity? No, I'm using straight linear and the Moza profile that is pinned in the Discord. Isn't the Moza flight stick not unrealistic? Let me try to brain process this double negative. The Moza flight stick not unrealistic. So that would mean, isn't the Moza flight stick realistic because it's fly-by-wire in the real aircraft, since you don't get feedback in the real Airbus while flying? I think what you're trying to say, or I think what you're trying to ask is, you don't get force feedback in the Airbus, so Moza's unrealistic. No, that's not necessarily true. Well, that's 100% true. You do not feel force feedback on the side stick. But with the Moza, you don't have to run the force feedback option, Allie. No worries, man. No worries. I know what you're asking. Allie, so I'm going to try to explain it to you. The Moza software while yes, it does force feedback for external factors like wind, gust, turbulence, and all that, you can turn all of that off for Airbus flying. So let me show you. Let me show you here. So on my Moza software, my force feedback is all the way to 0. If I go to my effects page, all of this is turned off. So I'm not getting any vibrations, any force, quote unquote, force feedback effects, because you're right, that would be unrealistic. So you can turn this off, but what makes it hyper realistic is we can set force mapping curves, so the force that you feel on the side stick on the Airbus and the real aircraft is not all linear. It's actually is a little bit heavier on one side than the other side, and it has a slight curve to it. So we've emulated that here, and then also through the basic settings with super high dampening, spring settings, friction, inertia, you could make the side stick feel almost identical to what this side stick feels like. And if you've never felt the real Airbus side stick, it might be kind of hard to understand, but for those that have, now you know it's a completely different feeling than what you would expect if you've been using spring-based side sticks your whole simming career. So if you do get a chance to feel a side stick, if you're going on an Airbus, go up front, see if you can move the side stick around. They probably let you, and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's a very heavily dampened side stick. So we could simulate that with the Moza, which is why I think it's the future for simulation, because then you can now take this and make it be anything you want. You can make it be an Airbus side stick. You could make it be a P-51 with force feedback. You can feel the flaps moving gear, or you can feel vibrations. You can make it do that. It's very customizable. So, and Team Vodka does most of that work, and I just sit here and take credit. So, linear side piece. Is the 350 system more responsive than the 320? Yes, it is, Dev. At least in the sim, the 320 feels sluggish. It is. Compared to the 350, which is a 5,000 PSI system, it is more responsive. And from what I've heard, as you see here, we're 3,000, 3,000, 3,000. From what I've heard, talking to other guys that flew in the 350, it's a quote-unquote fingertip airplane, and it's very responsive. And I think I would put the 320 in the middle. So like in terms of responsiveness, you'd have the 350 at the top, the 320 series, so 19, 20, 21. And then I think the 330 is even more sluggish than the 320 series. Because I was talking to one guy, I think it might have been Gus actually. He said his brother, who's flown all three, he said that it's actually closer to the 320 series, but it's still more sensitive, but way more than the 330. Excuse me, Captain. Can I touch your side stick? Jeez. I missed you guys. It's been too long. Where are we flying over? I feel like we flew a 727 into that airport down there. Man, that's beautiful for real time, midday. Beautiful out here. Sam is in the house. What's going on, dude? Speaking of that, what do you think of the 320 roll control and the really heavy gusts? Great time to ask me that, Sam. I just landed in 38 knots 2 days ago. Was watching the ailerons recently on a very gusty day, and it seems sluggish and not very snappy. It's not, Sam. There's a fine line with landing the Airbus in extreme gusty conditions, because there is a little bit of a delay. And I mean by a delay, I mean it's small. And every time you make an input on the side stick, you are commanding a roll rate and a G load. Now, in real time, battling against wind conditions, there's a fine line between being in phase and in sync with your airplane and then just being behind it and making a bunch of excess movements. I have seen side stick inputs on YouTube of guys landing the Airbus that are literally going left stop to right stop, aft stop to forward stop on approach, and the winds are like 20 knots. That's, in my opinion, over-controlling the airplane. And a lot of those movements are not even registering because they are moving the side stick so fast. Now, you can definitely hit the stops. I hit the stops a couple times on this last approach. It was right at the crosswind limit, 38 knots, steady state. And now I've landed the Airbus before that became a hard limitation for us per our SOP. It used to just be a recommendation, but there was no hard limit. And so my personal best crosswind is actually like 44 knots, 43 knots direct crosswind. And you will hit the stops, not so much in the crosswind, but when it is really gusty, because it's almost like an instinctive reaction. When you feel the wing roll up real fast on you, you just want to put an input to counteract that in the side stick. But by the time that you hit the stop and then you let go of that input, the airplane only moved maybe half that, maybe not even half that. So there is a technique, and I think it's there's a very fine line between over control and being in sync with your airplane on landing, especially the Airbus, because you have to take into account that delay. Do you have a gust limit? No, it's the steady state only for crosswind, and it's the last tower wind. So if you get a wind check, that is then going to be controlling. And it's so now, Sam, that 38 knot is our limitation for steady state crosswind. It never used to be, because that's really that's the maximum demonstrated on the 320 series. It can land at more than that. Like I said, I've done it, I've seen it. But now per SOP at 38, that's gotta be it. They canceled my legs today because of 21 gust 3.5 direct crosswinds. Twatters are squirrely. Oh yeah, I would not want to be taking a twatter up there. I was told that you never want to stir the pot even in a crosswind. Correct, Jeremy, correct. Bill's Mafia says, so you're saying it's not a good idea to fly the 320 like a 172. That is 100% correct, Bill's Mafia. Seatbelt sign is coming off. It's nice and smooth up here now. But yeah, that's 100% correct. It's almost like a learned... You really have to do it multiple times, and you have to you have to be cognitive or thinking about what you're doing, because it's easy to just start doing this. Start stirring the pot, as Jeremy said, start making all kinds of crazy inputs. But if you actively think to yourself, hey, I am commanding a roll rate and a G load here, and if I'm doing it faster than the airplane's reacting, I'm making a ton of excess movement on the side stick, and the airplane is not really moving at that excessively, but you're making it a lot harder on yourself. That there's a handful of videos on YouTube that I'm like, why are you even posting that? Number one, because that is like really not a good technique, and number two, it just, never mind. But yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Kyle Lewis says, let me tell you, it was the weirdest thing seeing planes take off from 3-1 at DFW on Tuesday. Yeah, they started doing that right after we got in. They had to flip it around. Since the side stick input is commanding a roll rate, would the Airbus in theory self-correct after a gust-induced bank? No positive rate, because so remember, and this is great systems discussion here. The airplane is trying to maintain 1G. So if you get a gust of wind that rocks you up on your wing, as long as the gust is over and you've stopped rolling, the airplane is going to just maintain 1G. So, and it's commanding 0 roll rate. So at 0 roll rate and 1G, if you don't make an input, it's going to stay wing up. So you got to make a little bit of an input to bring it back down. It's not trying to maintain wings level. It's trying to maintain 1G and 0 roll. So when the wind is hitting your airplane, you can almost feel like it feels like the fly-by-wire systems are fighting against the wind. And they are to a certain extent, because they're just trying to keep the airplane 1G and 0 roll. So when it's not 1G, the airplane tries to react and make it 1G. So there's a very fine line on controlling the side stick in gusty winds. What is that hole on the top of the engine in the front? An aqueduct? Some type of intake for cooling, I think. I don't know what it's for. Some sort of ventilation for the cowling. Why hasn't work called me yet? Let me see if that trip is still there. Ah, they gave it away. Someone else got it. Alright. Dang. I was really hoping, Chad. I was really hoping we'd get called for that. In those cases with Gus, would you come in faster? You definitely add some. You definitely can add some approach speed. So there is a limit to it though. So you'll notice VLS 140 knots, VAP 145. It's automatically always going to give you 5 knots. You can add up to VLS plus 15. That's your max. So VLS plus 15 is 155, so really you can only add plus 10 on your VAP. Once you get more than plus 10, you just lie into your landing data down and you can't do it. So plus 10 is the max you could add to VAP or VLS plus 15. That's all you would add. So, but you don't need a ton extra. For example, after losing 15 knots on a wind shear, on our first approach, we came back around and added 7 knots, and we were totally fine. So you don't always have to go balls to the wall and go VAP plus 10 every time. I would say more often than not, I add 2 or 3 knots, and that's about it. I added 2 knots going into Burbank. Oh, here's the other one. I did the RNAV visual to 3.1 in Burbank. They were landing north in Burbank. That one was spicy and super cool of an RNAV going in there, that curved RNAV going, is it 3.1? Whatever the north runway is going towards the mountains. I added 2 knots, and it was going to cause me to float a little bit, and I had to set it down. It was a little firmer landing than I wanted. I tried to print the landing report, but it wouldn't let me because it was a Neo. So, but if I didn't add those 2 knots, I would have been perfect. I just added 2 knots because it was pretty gusty, and I was a little bit uncomfortable with that hard turn to final. But I should have just left it VLS plus 5, at like it gives you. I should have left the VAP, and I would have been an absolute greaser. But the 321, if especially the non-sharkleted 321, add 3 knots, you'll probably get a butter almost every time. Would you still do full flap, or would you switch to config 3? Holden, we still did full flap, and the reason for that being is because we were a light 320 at that point, and I was not necessarily concerned with the go-around performance. That's why we elected to do full flap on the first approach, and on the second approach, I thought about it, but I decided to stick with flap full, and it was fine. Roberto's in the house. What's going on, Mr. Soriano? Mr. Throttletek himself is here. There we go. 3 knots more on the 321 for a better landing. There you go. Don't take it from me. Take it from Roberto. Add 3 knots. Some guys like to add them on the 319 too. Add a couple knots, 2 or 3 knots on the 319 to try to soften it out. But 321, 3. Nice butter landing. Instantaneous change in wind speed and or direction resulting in overperformance or underperformance. Yes. V1, how's the 350 performing? We're not in the 350. We are in the 321. And the 350 has been fine. Well, we got a little message down here. What do we got? Avianca operations. We were late, according to them. Nah, we're fine. Looking good. EJ, thanks for $3 super chat, man. Full flap trademark violation. Hashtag Big Sam. Now, wake me when he's at 1,000. Then then it'll be a trademark violation. Thanks for $3 super chat, AJ. 319 ground effect was a problem. Yes, and or lack of. Jeremy says, as you make quick connections during gusts, won't the airplane try to hold whatever input you put in when you let go because of the auto trim? No, Jeremy, remember, don't get confused with the auto trim and like thinking it's a bank hold. It's not. The airplane, when you have no input on the side stick, all it's doing is trying to maintain 1G and 0 roll. So it's not going to hold that input. It's going to stop trying to... It's going to... Yeah, because I know what you're saying with like, oh, it's going to hold the bank. Yes, if you don't correct it again, because you've put the side stick back to 0. As soon as you, if you roll in up to 33 degrees, right? As soon as you let go of the side stick, the airplane is you're no longer commanding a roll rate. So what does it do? 0 roll and 1G. It doesn't matter where the wings are, whether they're at 1 degree roll or 33 degrees roll. You're commanding 0 roll rate, so you're done. It's gonna stay there. How many hours do you think realistically would make someone a candidate for a major coming straight from a 135 or not doable? Jonah, so I guess in the U.S. anyway, the hours requirements and stuff for getting to a major have what would I say is normalized. They're looking for 3,000 plus total time, 1,000 turbine, some turbine PIC experience now. So they're still less than what they were back in my day, but they've much more normalized. But absolutely, you can still get enough time coming from a 135. You can still you definitely be a candidate. It especially depends on where you want to go too. But anything else that you can put on your resume to make you stand out is going to be a good thing, right? Whether that's a degree, whether that's community service, whether that's maybe check airman or training at your 135. So anything that you can get on that resume to make you stand out, yeah, absolutely. 3,000 hours is the new 1,500. Yep. That was the bare minimum when I was looking to get to a major. 3,000 to 7,000, 6,000 preferred. If you had more than 8,000 hours, you were considered untrainable. So to roll wings level, you'd have to make another roll rate demand to tell your wings are level. Correct, Jeremy. Correct. So that's what makes it, I mean, it's a unique feeling to land the airplane in really gusty conditions because it's not conventional. And it's not necessarily harder or easier. It's really unique. So you roll in, you let go of the side stick, 0G, the airplane is like, all right, I'm not going to do anything, or no more roll rate demand. So it's going to stay there. Now, if you ask it to roll to the right, but you only ask it to roll to the right for like a second, it's going to come back to the right a little bit, and then it's going to stop. So until you roll it level and stop, then it's going to maintain wings level. Now that you requested the 0 roll rate at a 0 roll. Now when the wind blows you up, that's where you got to correct. So you're going to be battling those wind conditions. That's where you get the sportiness and the challenge of landing it in a crosswind or gusty winds in general. I'm racking up multi-turbine PIC at my 135 right now for the remainder of the year, hopefully into 121 next year. Sweet, AFO. You got a site set anywhere that you want to go? Are we there yet? Not quite. Top of descent's coming up, though, in about 160 miles. I just learned that the airlines only count PIC time as assigned PIC captain. So my PIC time I'm getting at FO doesn't mean anything, apparently. Well, correct. You can't get PIC time from the right seat. So, for instance, when I was at a regional and I was a first officer, I was still not receiving PIC. Now, you're still receiving turbine time, but you're not receiving PIC. You have to be the captain or the sole manipulator of the controls, right, as defined by the FAA. I regularly see Squawk 7600 radio failure on flight radar. How are communications in such situation? Radio failure? So it's just, it depends. I mean, Avenue F, that's the old acronym, your last assigned, vectored, expected or filed altitude, and then, or flight plan rather, and then the altitude is minimum en route, minimum sector en route altitude or assigned altitude. Those are the last ones you remain on. And if you're on an arrival, if you're on a star, there is a lost communications box that will give you instructions on what to do when you lose comms that way. So there's a lot of different ways to handle a lost comm scenario. If you're in a 152 and you lose comms, Squawk 7600, look for the light gun signals. I got to do that on my, third flight ever on a 152. What's up, Al W? I swear I'm going to start putting my ringer on silent a half hour before stream. Hey, well, better late than never, Al. What's going on, man? Bills Mafia says, how do you keep track of your hours? I'm assuming you're not actually writing them down in a physical logbook. So you would assume that I've moved to an electronic, and you would be correct. So I use, what do I use? I use Log 10 Pro now, Bills Mafia, and this is a tip to anybody that is doing flight training, just going for your private or whatever it is right now. Start a digital logbook now. Don't wait until you have 3,000 hours like I did, because then I just gave up and I just left them in the paper logbook anyway. So what I did when I was going for interviews, I didn't start in an electronic logbook until I got to a 121 operator, my first regional, and I started there with Log 10 Pro. And that's the only reason I have Log 10 Pros, because back then that was like the best option. There's a lot of other options now that are just as good, if not better, but I don't have any experience with those, and because I already started on one, I'm not going to start another one. But yeah, I have all my 121 time in an electronic logbook, and then when I went to the interview, so when I got to my current operator, I had all my paper logbooks. I had two or three paper logbooks. I think they had 2 paper logbooks, and then I had a printout of my Log 10 Pro. You can select printout and print it to match the Jeppesen logbook. So I printed out how many thousand pages that was, right? And then I put those in a binder, made them nice and neat. I tabbed everything. I tabbed like my captain upgrade. I tagged my recurrent or my line checks with little tabs, made it all nice and neat. And then I just gave that to the HR when I did my interviews. So they had my paper logbooks, and then they also had a paper copy of my digital logbook. And they're fine by that. Team Vodka says, my take is the 350 is a dumpster fire. Oh, did you pick it up, Vodka? Have you ever had a phone number to call? I have, Austin Gray. Yeah, I have. Yes, I have. There are those that have, and then there are those that have not yet. I've had a call one time, and ironically, it was Washington National DCA. I was the first officer. And I'm not saying that like I'm pushing responsibility. It was my equally responsible situation that happened, Washington National. We got a phone number to call. And I think I podcasted that one. I can't remember. I tried Log 10 Pro. I wasn't super happy with it, using 4 Flights logbook. Yeah, AFO, whatever you're happy with, man. And other logbooks, like other softwares, may sync better with your company's schedule. So for me, Log 10 Pro automatically imports my schedule. So I take my iPad, my EFB that I have for work, and once I have my schedule downloaded and I'm starting a trip, I go to there, I said send trip to Log 10. It'll send the whole trip, the tail number, the crew, everything to Log 10, and all I gotta do is put the times in. Or I can wait till I finish the flight and then put the times in, but I always put the times in manually at the end of each leg. because I like having both out, off, on, and in. If I wait till after, I just get the block time. I just get the off and in times. So I do the hours myself. Looks great, doesn't work. Why do you say that, Vodka? I bought a digital logbook, didn't use it because I needed to log in 3,000 hours and I'm lazy. Now, Bill, you don't have to. If you have a paper, bring it with you. Bring your paper logbook with you and then just start with the digital. I've never heard of any interviewer or any interviewee being turned down because of that type of logbook situation where they brought in paper and a digital. It'd be cool if the airplane could sync with the. It'd be cool if your logbook could sync with the airplane, so you don't have to manually enter the times. Well, Jeremy, it will, but like I said, it will only give the off and in. It won't give the out, or excuse me, it will only give the out and in times. It won't give the off and on times. So, and I like to add. I'll put something in the remarks like this last one. I put wind shear. I put wind shear 200 feet, 20 knot loss. Put that in the remarks section. My line check, put that one in there. Matter of fact, I flew an airplane the other day on my last trip, and it was the first airplane I flew on my captain upgrade. My first leg at captain upgrade OE, and I look at the tail number before I started the flight, and I say, what history do I have with this tail number? And this one said, first captain OE flight, right there. So I was like, oh, and I hadn't flown the airplane since. Got caught off guard when you said my name just then. Oh, sorry, Nabil. Not Hamdoui. Is getting a phone number to call always a bad thing? Unless the controller's trying to ask you out, probably. Is it more there was an incident and even if it wasn't your fault, they just want to talk to you about it? Yes and no, Holden. It's a toss-up. Let me put it this way. 99.9% of the time, it's not going to be something that you would just want to do in your spare time. It's probably because they're going to tell you something that either you did wrong or that they think you did wrong or they want to straighten out with you. So, unless you're a breeze pilot trying to ask out controllers. 73 Sim Pilot says, for example, I did JFK to Heathrow at TOD, but the plane didn't recognize the ILS. When I tried to switch the runway and sit, it deleted my flight plan. The navigation was horrendous. I've heard of that happening as well. I was able to, actually that happened to us on the last 350 stream when we went around. I was able to get it back though. So you might just need to do some extra tweaking. But yeah, it shouldn't do that. I agree with you. What happens on those calls? Do they scold you? Depends, man. It depends on the nature of the call. I've requested tower's number before for an operational issue I had with them. There you go. Yeah, that's another. You could also request the tower number. Mickey G says, I got a phone number once and thought I did something wrong, landed and called them, and they just wanted to ask a question. Oh, that's cool. Well, that's because you're flying crazy airplanes, man. You're flying all the secret stuff. I worked as a controller for 20 years, and there were times we would tell pilots to call a facility for something non-punishable. Yep. So there's not necessarily a punishable offense, but maybe they want to talk to you to straighten something out, or maybe because they want to clarify their side of it, and they just didn't want to do it on the air, over the VHF, so that everyone has a better understanding. Yeah, it's not always bad, but I don't think it's going to be enjoyable. I'm looking forward to trying out the Sim Update 1 release for Microsoft 24. Aviate, yeah, man, that's awesome. I want to see if it's any different than the beta that I'm in right now. I can't imagine that it is, right? All right, but we are going to Bogota, though, so it's time to look sharp and do this for real. So, arrival. Uh-oh, my friend just sent me a picture of a giant bass he just caught. Oh no, he just caught 26 pounds on Louisville. 5 5-pounders. All right, we are on this star from MVAM. So bottom at AMVs is 15 thou. Bottom at AMVs is 15 thou. We'll set 15,000 in the box. 15,000 is blue. Plan mode. Step through this here. Bappet, sir, 2, 3, all the way around, kind of an arc. Amvez, then inbound. Yeah, this is, I haven't done the RNAV going north here in Bogota in a long time. All the way around for the arrival. Okay, so that checks out. Let's go to the actual approach chart and get our data in there. RNP 32 right. Now it's visual after BO 482. So MDA is 9,900. Which is crazy. 9,900 feet. Let's get the latest weather from Bogota. Come over here. Go to my flight. Arrival, refresh. 330 at 9, thunderstorm. Oh, showers vicinity. Spicy, chat. Maybe I am glad I'm home instead of going up there. 330 at 9. Let's see. What did I say? 16 and 1025. So 1025 on the barrel is going to be high pressure. 3025. 3025. RNAV Whiskey 32 right, 3025, 330 at 9, config full. That looks good. We got 15 set for the star. Our descent speed coming down the arrival is going to be 323. I could tell you we're going to knock that back to 310 right now. We'll knock that back 78, 310. That looks good. We'll have terrain up on ND because it's descending into mountainous terrain. Remark showers of vicinity northeast and north, which is right where we're coming from, so that's beautiful. Let's run some landing data in there. I'm sure we can get down, but going to be a little bit spiced. We're going to use apply METAR. Let's go with good, medium, wet runway. We'll do low, idle. Landing weight is going to be... How much are we landing with? 9.3. So let's just say 3,000 pounds less, 169.4, 166.4, 166.4. Enter that. That's with manual, low, full flaps, auto thrust on. Now we'll probably be more than that, but we still have our additive in there. Looks like 2-knot crosswind, 8-knot headwind, wet runway. It's probably more in condition 5, but it is Bogota is ungrooved, so slippery when wet definitely applies here. So for that reason alone, slippery when wet, we're going to go auto brakes low to help minimize the risk of hydroplaning. So descent check or descent brief is complete, and IRL right here I'd be putting on the headset because the controllers can get kind of hard to understand if you're just using the overhead speaker mic. Anyone else now wants sea bass for dinner? Yeah. Kip on the ground. What's up, man? Good to see you, dude. I hope the call goes okay, man. Hate that happened. And did they just for windshield, or did you say you also had TCAS? Well, I hope I don't. I mean, I didn't get called from the tower or anything like that. I just don't know if it's going to trigger a... I don't think it will. We didn't overspeed anything. I don't think I'm going to get a call. I just don't know if sometimes the FOQA committee, when they see something crazy like that, and it's pretty wild wind shear, they may call just to see what happened. Like, man, that's pretty crazy. Can you give us some more details? But actually handled pretty well. Tricky though. I mean, you're in a wind shear go around. You know, it's a different go around than go around flaps. ATC gave us a 2,000 foot level off. You're climbing up at full toga, flying the command bars. It happens fast. It happens fast. Watched a Vast Aviation video about Southwest that diverted twice, and for the first diversion, controls said winds 25 plus or minus, or winds plus or minus plus 25 minus 15 on final. Can you explain that, please? Maybe did he say plus or minus 25 to 15? Or maybe it was plus 25 minus 15? Wind shear, maybe? A gain of 15, loss of 15? Which Vast Aviation video is that? Let's listen to it. Because we can listen to VAS. I just won't show it. I think I saw that one pop up. I didn't watch it though. Vast Aviation Southwest. Wind shear. This one. Unrelated communications. Blah blah blah.
Delay vectors. 3571 council approach plans maintain 4,000. Yeah, final there.
Wind shear alert on final.
That was 3571 negative 3,000 and plus 35. You maintain 2,005. Yankee. G starts getting towards the Yankee. 158. Southwest 1810. Approach Southwest 1789. Southwest 1789 on Potomac. Hey, we want to wait till he starts getting towards the runway to see how his inbound is. One climb and maintain 5 in 20 minutes. Time now 17, 10 knots at 1,000 feet, landing runway 15 right.
Here we go. This is where you were talking about.
Lost of 10 knots at 1,000 feet, landing 37 landing. We reported a gain of 25 knots.
Gain of 25 knots.
Lost of 10 knots at 1,000 feet, landing runway 15
Loss of 10
right.
knots. So that's wind shear. They're talking about the wind shear. So they're gaining 25 knots. And then they are losing 10 knots at 1,000 feet. So that's a pretty big shear, 25 to minus 10. But you should still be okay, because if you're gaining 25 and only losing 10, then that's really only, what, a net gain of 15. So nothing super crazy. I mean, it's a lot of wind, but I would be more concerned if it was reporting a gain of 10 knots and a loss of 25 knots. That would be more concerning, because a loss of wind is always worse than a gain. A gain, you can clean up, power up, and get out of it. When you're losing a lot of wind there, low level, that's when it gets spicy. That's the passenger screaming for no reason type of wind shear. I've heard the focal guys going after into San Francisco with a new UFO example of what not to do. Uh-oh. So would it come in form of headwinds or tailwinds or both? Both. Any direction, both, Jay. It's just, that's what wind shear is. But if it's a gain, it's probably a headwind, right? And if it's a loss, it's either just a loss of the gust, or the wind is shifting around to a tailwind. So it's just wind doing wind things, man. But when you start losing 10, 15, and then 20 knots, then you start having big problems. The problem with the gain is, as that airspeed starts to build up, what are your engines going to do? They're going to roll back, right? So the engines start to roll back, and then all of a sudden that gust goes away, and now your engines are at idle and you're losing performance. So that's where you can get into a problem. But if I had an option, right? Let's say we're landing San Jose, and they go, you have option A, clear to land 30 right. Previous aircraft reported a wind shear gain of 15 knots. At 100 feet or 200 feet, whatever. Or option B, clear to land San Jose. Previous aircraft reported a loss of 15 knots. I would much rather take the gain of 15 knots than the loss of 15 knots. Does the 320 have wind shear callouts? Yes, it does. And it goes red. It says wind shear, wind shear. It also has predictive wind shear. The wind shear that I got 2 days ago was a red wind shear. And it was almost below 200 feet. It was, like I said, it was pretty low, man. It was one of the lower wind shears I've got. Yeah, it comes up here red. Wind shear, wind shear. And then you are doing wind shear Toga, follow the command bars, SRS, and you're just trying to hang on. When anticipating wind shear, I'd assume you just go with manual thrust. I mean, you can, Matty K. That's definitely a technique, yeah. Definitely a technique. But using the auto thrust it's not gonna hurt you to use the auto thrust. You just got to be aware of what's happening, because even if you're a manual thrust, the engine's still spooled the same amount of time, right? And if you're getting a gain of wind, you're gonna have to pull them back. So I don't know. The book defines the book suggests use of manual thrust when thrust changes become excessive. So as long as they're not excessive wind gusts on final where the auto thrust can't keep up, auto thrust will do just fine in a wind shear. Matter of fact, it's almost easier to just to limit that that workload, or to release that workload a little bit and monitor your instruments more, right? But if you're on final and the auto thrust can't keep up, then yeah, then it's time to turn the auto thrust off. But even yesterday, or I keep saying yesterday, 2 days ago, the winds gusting up into the 40s, the auto thrust was fine. Use auto thrust on approach. It was doing just fine. Ever had wind shear in a light GA? I had wind shear in a Piper Chieftain. And I'm sure I experienced it somewhat in a 172, man. I did a flight training in Arizona, so a lot of wind shear stuff out there in the summers. But nothing as crazy as my Embraer 170 at Indianapolis. That one was wild. Finally bought flying lessons for my 40th birthday. Looking forward to it. Hamburger. That's awesome, man. Report back. Let us know how it is. Come in hot flaps 1, you'll be fine. Yeah. Does Flight Sim 24 simulate wind shear? That is a good question. I don't know. I know that there was a program in X-Plane that simulated wind shear. I don't know if... I've never experienced it in 2024. Maybe we should historical weather and go back to Dallas, see if we can get some. I don't know. Embraer 170 Indy. Yep, that's the one, Crazy Eye. That's the one. I was thinking the auto thrust would start becoming erratic in wind shear because of thrust pitching making you completely unstable. I wouldn't know. Yeah, no, the Airbus, I'll tell you what, Matty K, I mean, every airplane's different too. Like some airplanes, the auto thrust just is like, what are you doing? And then other airplanes seem to have a better auto thrust. I don't know why. Maybe it's just a placebo effect or the exact conditions, but I've only had to disconnect the auto thrust because the auto thrust wouldn't keep up probably less than 5 times, man. I had to disconnect it one time in cruise because the turbulence was so bad. I mean, it was like, it wasn't quite severe, but it was really struggling. And we were in a heavy 321, so we descended down. We were in the thick of the turbulence. So part of our turbulence procedure is to disconnect the auto thrust and set the EPIR. Just set it and leave it and accept the deviations in airspeed. But you got to make sure that you're not going to overspeed, right? So I've had to disconnect it for that once, and then maybe 2 times I could think of, like on approach. 319, LaGuardia one time, and I can't remember if it was a 19 or 20. Also in Boston, I had it disconnected because the winds were. It wasn't so much like a wind shear problem. It was just they were swirling, so it was making these crazy changes trying to maintain speed. And I finally just said, "Okay, you're done. I've got thrust levers." But it's pretty rare, man. I mean, these airplanes are pretty robust. They go through some pretty rigorous testings, and I mean, they can handle quite a lot. Have you ever had severe turbulence? Yes, I have. I actually managed to get a wind shear advisory on approach in the TOLIS on X-Plane 12. Continue the approach, hit the wind shear, and force the Toga. Nice. Flight sim guy, that's pretty cool that it's simulated, and that would be the correct procedure too. So in the Airbus, same with the 340, if you get a caution wind shear or a wind shear ahead, I can't remember what it says. It's either caution wind shear or wind shear ahead, it's amber. That is a predictive wind shear alert. That is not a mandatory go-around. A wind shear in red, that is a go-around. That is an actual wind shear call. So you can elect to continue the approach on a predictive, but you wouldn't want to do it if you had an actual wind shear, because good luck explaining that to the FAA when you smash into the ground. And that was also part of my thought process, which is so wild, man. Like, the brain does so many weird things. I felt like, and I'll definitely do a podcast on this because I almost just want to verbal process the whole scenario again. It was one of those things that happened. I drove home, about an hour and 20-minute drive home from the airport. I rode in silence the whole way. It was one of those kind of deals where, like, I was trying to reprocess everything that happened. So everything happens so fast, but at the same time, I had 2 very clear thoughts in my head. The first one was, man, we're super low. We're getting a wind shear. I mean, should we just continue and touch down because we're right above the runway? But then at the same time, I was thinking, well, Delta CRJ Toronto smashed into the ground, ripped the gear off. Okay, don't want to do that. So that was an instantaneous thought that I had. And also on the go-around, we got a TCAS. Everything happening so fast, trying not to overspeed. You're trying to do your RA callouts. You're listening to air traffic control. You're flying, doing all this stuff. And then the second thought that I had was, and it's kind of morbid, is like, this is how fast it happened to that CRJ crew in DC. Because we all know now that they saw the Black Hawk, and it's just a split. So, like, as soon as we got traffic on the go-around, I had a very clear, concise thought of, this is how it happens. This is how fast it is. Boom, just like that. But, you know, luckily, obviously nothing happened, but just because what happened, they launched a CRJ off the parallel at the same time we got a wind shear, and we're going around with a 35 knot crosswind, right? That's going to push us towards the parallel. The CRJ is taken off. So, and what happened, what is interesting too, and I'm going to actually look this up. I forgot to do it. So we were below, I don't know what altitude we were at when we got the traffic call. It was low. We were so low we didn't get an RA. We got a TA, but I didn't even see the target on the ND. All I saw was an amber, and I want to say it was a bearing and distance. Like, there was digits down here that was saying where the airplane was. And I've never seen that before. So I need to look that up. That's one thing I want to look up, because I looked down here expecting to see a yellow triangle, right? Didn't see a yellow triangle. All I saw was the distance in amber. It was like D something, and it was I think it was a depiction of where the traffic was. So I need to look that up in the book because I hadn't seen that before. But here we go. We're on the descent down now on the star. This is looking good. I got a problem with the Phoenix. I'm landing. Can you give me any tips how to fix it? 4060. Drops the FPS to 5. That sounds like a rolling cache issue. Delete your rolling cache. Are you in 2020? Try that. Have I ever been on a compressed air pocket? It happened to us in a Copa flight to Quito over the Andres, or over the Andes. Plane just dropped and everyone screamed. Wow. Yeah, I've had a few of those, like where you're yeah, actually I've had a couple of those. Stomach goes into your head. Reset Jet says I only had to fly the 7.5 without auto throttles twice now in the year I've been on the fleet. Took me back to my RJ days. Nice, Reset Jet. That's awesome, man. Freaking 757, man. I really wish everyone was still flying 7.5. Well, I guess everyone is. Two main airlines are in the U.S. Would it do that if the traffic was directly below or above you? Dale, I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't know. I gotta look it up. It could be, but maybe because the traffic was behind me. I'm thinking it was because it was the position of the traffic was behind the ND. So if it's off scale, like Highball's saying, I think the traffic would have been like right here, but you can't depict that maybe? I don't know. I'm going to dig around in the book when I get home. That was what I was going to do, and I haven't had time. Went and got chickens. We're starting the chicken farm up. The VWin Chicken Farm 2.0 is starting. So, I mean, we're only going to have a newborn in 2 months. We already have 3 kids and 2 dogs. Why not throw some chickens into it? I'm glad Delta's keeping theirs, is refreshing the cabins. Yeah, that is cool, Captain McGee. That is cool. I love seeing the 7.5s, man. That's one airplane that I'm like, man. If circumstances were different, I might have chased it. But, did not. You need some eggs? $25? Yeah, I'm going to... Well, I hope to pay the tackle store in eggs. Cabin pressurization appears to work in the PC-12. Ooh. Might have to do some PC-12 Barry Seal apps. Yeah, AJ, there's nothing like fresh eggs, man. After we had our chickens in Georgia, just can't do it. Can't do the store-bought eggs anymore. 757 is my favorite bird. Amazing performance. I don't think the 321 will ever be able to replace what the 7.5 was. No, I agree with you, Medicaid. I don't think it ever will be. 7.5 is what made me fall in love with airliners and commercial aviation. 100% agree with you, man. And it's unfortunate, you know, all the airlines are trying to make the 321 LR, XLR. They're trying to make it fit that role, but it can't. The 7.5 is just so much of a beast. Are you still keeping away from sceneries in 24? I am. Gangster Goose, I am. Tackle store and FFL at this rate. True, AJ. True. Story of Noah, but it only happens in Texas and an Airbus instead of an ARC. Yeah. We don't have as many this time. We only got 4 chickens. We had like 15 chickens at our last house. We had eggs coming out our ears, man. PC-12 shows pressurization info, but it still fails the career mode mission. Oh, really, Kip? Dang. That's the only reason I was going to fly it. So we still got to be below 18 thou, huh? Hopefully, well, that's in the beta at least. Maybe we'll be lucky and in the stable it's been fixed. I doubt it, though. Am I taking a break from career mode? Just a little bit. Yeah, really to get the PC-12 pressurization and friction buffet. That's really the only reason. I got kind of tired of flying the PC-24, and the PC-12 flights are so long. When you can't get up there and take advantage of the jet stream, like, I mean, I say they're so long, but 2.5 hours, 3 hours in a PC-12 at 17.5 kind of gets old. Dale, yeah, we're not getting ducks. I had ducks growing up as a kid. And, yeah, talk about a mess and a stink and just... Now, I love ducks, don't get me wrong. I love ducks. I will definitely feed ducks when I'm out fishing, which you're not supposed to, but I always try to hand feed them. I love ducks, man. Had them as kids, raised them, had like 20-something baby ducks around the house. Neighbors started complaining. All right, here's transition. We'll set standard. 3003 is set across the board. That checks. We're 18,250. Sir 01, 18,250. That looks good. Sounds are coming out. I think the ULR 321 will be the closest to it. She definitely can pretty much do it all with everyone in cargo. But she won't look as cool, reset jet. Or sound as cool. Saw a goat in the title, was surprised we weren't flying the Jarvis 320. What's up, Captain Canada? I had to be, yeah, it was like, it's definitely the Fenix. Definitely the Fenix. I might have to change that. Although, there's been a lot of people having issues with the 350. I personally have had a great experience with the 350. So, other than a couple of hiccups that first day, I mean, every flight I've done on stream with it's been fine. The jar design is pretty good though. It's right up there with the flight factor. Wingnuts in the house. Dude, are you going to ditch me again tonight? Or are we doing Black Hawk Down campaign? Come on, man. It's so much fun, dude. I was up till 1 o'clock in the morning, dude. And I mean, you know me. I go to bed at like 9 p.m. with my tea and Juan Brown. I was up till 1 a.m. playing campaign mode with 2 randos. Why do you want more drag? We're 250 knots. You're fine. Captain Canada, are you going to be checking out the stable Sim Update 1? Everyone's saying that the Sim Update 1 just came out today, so I'm on the beta, which the beta's been really good. And that's because I normally don't do the whole beta thing either, but I had to do it for the 350, and it's been pretty good to me, so I'm hoping the stable Sim Update 1 is just as good. Back in the day when X-Plane had no add-ons, it was quite the add-on. It was, man. It was. The jar design 330. What's funny is when I had just started my channel, I did a 330 jar design flight, and it was my most viewed video ever for a very long time. It's probably still up there. Jar design 330. Watch those VNAV constraints on the ground speed. Huh? I'm just going to select speed, maintain 250 for right now. 18,000 at Toga key. Let's come back here and make sure we're not missing anything. $18 all the way around. We're fine. 250, 250, and 200. So we could actually slow down, which, because it's going to be tight coming in here, let's do that. Since we've already selected, let's bring it back to I don't know if I want to do that either. Right at green dot up here. Heavy 321. Let's see if we can't. Screw it. Let's just leave it at 240 for now. Leave it at 240. Something is, it's not happy about something on this arc. We'll get our LS push buttons on too here, those we get ready for the approach. I'm in no rush. I can't convince myself to fly into default condo airports. They definitely are default condo airports, man. I know. I was talking about this when we departed. We were talking about Sim Day 1 beta. I was like, look, everyone's different, and I get it. You know, especially when you have every scenery that you've spent money on, or you have every airport that you fly into. It's definitely a tough pill to swallow to start flying into Hotel Day Microsoft Flight Sim. Definitely is sore on the eyes. I get it. Definitely. And everyone tells me to install the default, to just do it anyway, but I don't believe anybody when they say, oh, they're compatible with 24, because the only time that I've put a forced a community 2020 scenery into the community folder of 2024, it's caused issues or it's caused just a big hit in performance. Like I could just feel the frames tank every time I approach it. So I don't believe anybody when they say it's compatible. Yeah, it may work, but the scenery was designed in 2020, and I'm pretty sure they got to do some tweaking, even if it's just optimization for 2024. Every time I jump seat on a heavy 321, it looks like a real tight window to get flap one out. Yes, it is. Yeah, wing, especially when it's bumpy, man, 100%. So right here, I'm going to start down, and the only reason I'm going to keep it fast is because flaps 1 on the descent is just not good. She doesn't like that. So right here, there's our out constraint is over. So she will descend better 250 clean than 210 flaps 1. If you put flaps 1 out, you're going to ride the brake all the way down. So this is between 17 and 15. Let's go open descent, and I'm actually going to run you up to 250. We'll pitch it over. We'll start diving down. We'll get down to level, and then I'll slow down, get the flaps out. Because, yeah, especially when we're heavy like this, you got to finagle it going in there. My VRAM is locked at 100% when I add any third party. Yes. Any third party plane and scenery together right now. I don't have the BFS PC build perf to be. Yeah, 100% Captain. And that was honestly not even I was having issues just running 24 with my 4080. So I went to the AMD card because I got 24 gigs of VRAM, and that has really opened up the sim for me. But that's 100%. I actually had a crash because my VRAM just locked up 100%, and I got the VRAM error, whole sim crashed, stream crashed, trying to fly somewhere in New Zealand with a payware airport. So yes, that is 100% a huge problem. The VRAM usage is off the charts in this sim. For me, the biggest issues are stream third-party airports. Yep, same here, Captain McGee. And that's the thing. I've stopped all third-party airports, and we haven't had an issue on the sim yet. So it just depends on what you're looking for, man. Like, the flying, to me, is more organic in 24, and for me personally, that's my opinion that I like. I'm okay with it at that point, you know? Like, I'll take an organic feeling, and I'll swallow the Hotel de Microsoft airports, or just land at night. But if it's not really that big of a detail, or if you're really flying airliners all the time, then it's really not. I mean, I could totally understand why you'd want to fly into your custom airports. Especially as some of them starting to look really good, man. I really miss my Phoenix, man. The Sky Harbor scenery was so awesome. San Jose was awesome. But we actually had a good Bogota scenery. We got a default here today. I'm sure it's going to be ugly as hell. Cap, I got a question. Do you switch the altimeter as soon as you get cleared to higher or lower, or wait till transition? You wait till transition altitude, Captain Medi, because what happens if you switch it? Say you're descending and you switch it early. Oh, see, I forgot to slow down here. Now we're going to come straight back to 180. I think that's max at 215. I'll set 200 and look it up. But the reason you don't want to change it until you actually cross is because what if they level you? What if they tell you amend altitude, maintain 19 and you've already switched over your altimeter setting and you forget to change it? Now you could be off a couple hundred feet, cause an issue. So you always wait till the transition altitude to actually set standard or set the current altimeter. Now we'll go ahead and sneak flaps 1 out. Flaps 1 coming out. Now with flaps 1, you'll notice the approach idle comes up. So now I need a little bit of speed brake juice. I'm going to get the speed brake out there now to help bring me back down below that next F speed, and we'll get flaps 2 in here real quick. And the turn doesn't help right there. See how tight it is? Now let's go flaps 2. Now she'll come down flaps 2, 180, no problem. I can stow the boards. I'm going to run this right back to 180. So we really had to finagle that, but that's 100% realistic. And I don't know if you caught it, but when the flaps are coming out, when you go to flaps 2 and the flaps come out first, your VLS actually shoots up. So it actually gets tighter. And that's exactly what happened until those flaps start to come out the backside. So Phoenix did a wonderful job modeling that. All right, 215 max, and we need to start down. I'm going to pull thrust idle. Let's pull our chart up here now for the actual RNAV approach. We're on the whiskey one. There it is. RMP whiskey. So this one isn't the visual. The other one was the visual. I know our minimums are off. I think we set the minimum 9,900. Let's go ahead and arm it up. We should be able to get a app nav out final. I'm going to hustle down here, see if I can catch up to it just a little bit more. Speed brake's coming out. Alright, we'll bring out the cams. Alright, now we're catching up to the descent profile. Sound's coming up for approach. Now once we fly through... I don't know when she's going to go out. She's going to go final lap. Probably at Ambez inbound. Oh, 410. 4012. We're inside of Ambez. I'm not quite sure why she's not capping. Outstar app nav. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set 9700 and rearm. I'm going to re-engage descent mode. Okay, so there's out. So now I'm going to set we'll set 9900 and then re-engage descent. Now we should get an out constraint here when I push this in. Vertical speed 0. Yeah, she shouldn't do that because we're inside of that. It should be constraint. Unless now we can force it. Let's force it. Go here. No. Vertical speed 0. Finals blue. We'll maintain 13,000 here. Oh, I need to get flight recorder up. We're not doing an LS approach. There you go. No, that's not gonna. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I shouldn't have had that on, but that's not going to change it. We're already activated, guys. We're in app nav. We're already in app nav. I'm going to wait till we're over 414. Yeah, see, she still wants to descend down. Thrust levers are hunting there. Auto thrust off. Approaching 401. That's a 13.7 down to a minimum. .402. .751. I don't know why. Something not quite lining up. We'll manage the descent here. We got to start down. I have the thrust levers. Plus 10, we're right on the limit of anti-ice. 160 max, we're rolling 160 here on the speed. Here comes the brick. So now it'll catch up here. It should intercept the brick. Might just be an old software load. In real life, we would be able to get final lap back there in a constrained star. This is almost like it's, there we go. See, now we're final lap. She's got it now. All right, manage speed, gear down, flaps 3. Flaps full, landing checklist, speed checks, flaps full. Landing checklist. Oh, I'm gonna start the recording. Recording is on. Alright, we've got the thrust levers. Actually, I kind of want to see if how she'll handle the auto thrust now. Let's re-engage. Starts to do that hunt thing, then we might have to turn them off again. Seems to be alright now. Yeah, look at this. So this would be a good wind condition or rain condition for a little rain repellent. Little rain repellent juice. Missed call. Wait, chat. You didn't tell me. Did work call you? No, spam. Alright. The wipers actually work? Yeah, they do. It's a Fenix, man. It's the Fenix. I'm surprised the rain repellent does rain repellent things too, probably.
2,500.
Alright, radio itinerary live. Here we go, at 10,000 feet. We never got our lights on, but we would have done that at 10,000 AGL. Oh my goodness. I was going to turn off the autopilot, but look at this. Right now the window would be like because it's dry. They do not like to be run on a dry windshield. Alright, here's 751. Landing checklist. Cabin crew advise auto thrust. Speed. Auto brakes are low. Landing checklist complete. Here's our minimum. So now this is going to be... Ooh, we may not see it here. There's a rain shaft. Do we go around? We'd have to go around. Where's the runway? Oh, there it is. In sight. Let's stick with it. There's a rain shaft right over the field. I've lost it. We have to go around. I've literally lost it. We got to go around. Gosh dang it. Mickey G says continue. I'm going to hold it for a second. Definitely would have gone around in real life. I think I see 3-2 left.
1,000.
Barry doesn't go around. I still don't see it. Oh, I see it now. In sight. Oh, I'm losing it. I'm losing it in the rain. Oh. I lost it. Where is she at? I almost wanted to go around just to hear the Fenix go around, but alright, it's inside. Autopilot's coming off. Flight director's off. Give me the bird. I'm surprised you guys didn't want to go around for the juice on that. That would have been a juicy go around right into the terrain. A little bit high, correcting here. It's that RNAV. Has nothing to do with the fact we went 500 feet below minimums.
Sink rate.
Sink rate, check. Folk would have a field day with
Sink
this
rate.
approach.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20, retard. 10, 5,
Uh-oh. That was a floater and a half. I don't know, that's close. That's gonna be close to being legal, chat. That's gonna be real close. That was gonna be real close. Just like you like them, barely legal. Manual brakes. 70 knots. All over the place there, trying to read the chat. We're gonna have to pull the tapes on that one. What's the bet? Oh, that one's tight, y'all. That one is real close to being. I mean, the whole approach was illegal from the from the minimums to call in was illegal. I tell you what, I think it was pretty soft. I think it was a pretty soft landing. Oh, we got a double rainbow. But I don't even know. It's gonna be real tight. Let me put a poll. Was that landing legal? I'm specifically talking about the touchdown zone, not the illegal operations. Specifically talking about the touchdown zone. All right, we're clear. Let's go. If you're gonna go below minimums, don't land long. It's a pro tip. The line check airman at row 31 was probably in the touchdown zone. I don't know. I don't know. We're gonna check the tapes. Since this airport is pretty disgusting, I'm just gonna go over here to what I think is a gate and a terminal, and we're just gonna go to the replay mode because welcome to 1998 Roblox simulations here. Double rainbow is juice though, isn't it? A wise man once said, only break one law at a time. That is a very wise situation. Alright, we're just going to stop here because there's really nowhere to stop because it's a line and it's disgusting. Oh, but there's people out there. Let's see where they land. Let's go showcase cam. How do I roll? What's the roll? Why'd they change the commands in this thing, man? I got up, down. I don't know what default roll is. F? Nope. Kind of worked. Oh, there he is. I see someone on final right there. Let's park it at the end of the touchdown zone. Maybe we can see our marks. We might be able to see our marks. I don't know. Could these be ours right here? I don't know. Oh, he's down way early. Nice. Oh no, Skibo ground is on. Uh-oh. I had no idea Skibo ground was on. I had no idea Skibo ground was on. Aren't they supposed to ping you? What? What? Do I just disconnect or do I send a message? What do I do? I got... Who's going to give me a phone number? Send a message. ASAP it. I need an ASAP. I mean, that's sneaky. Come on, man. I feel like they should have to alert you that they've come online. Normally they ping you like on approach or like when you land, like contact ground. Even tower tells me to contact ground. They're expecting me to check. Totally not good, chat. Well, let's just disconnect. I said sorry. I said I didn't see you popped online. He came on to report your illegal landing. I checked ahead of time in Attical, but they weren't there until like we were well in the descent, I think, right? AJ did say it. Yeah, but I don't listen to AJ. He's a saboteur. We should all know that by now. He saboteured our approach into Kai Tech. All right, we'll disconnect. All right, let's disconnect. Let's I didn't mean to do that. Let's watch our landing. Let's just go into replay mode right now. U and O are drone roll. Shift space to level it. Ah, thank you. U and O, okay. I wish I could just left the drone commands the same. I really liked the drone commands. 2020. Alright, flaps are coming out. Let's let it load in here. I did disconnect before I started the replay, so I don't get 2 strikes. I'm definitely getting a phone number to call. How many times in a year are you gonna get kicked off? Well, I've only been banned. I've never been kicked off. I've only been banned, and I was only banned 1 time. Alright, now she's loaded in nice. I'll leave the long replay for later. 59% of you think it was legal. Well, Matty K, I've never been kicked off. I was only banned. That's the truth. And I was only banned. I wasn't even banned when I was an active user. I was banned, like, in between flights. I went to log in one day, and then it says my account was banned. That was it. I've never even... I don't think I've ever been walloped. I don't think I've ever been anything. Just insta-banned. Does getting banned on 2 accounts count as 1? Ask Wingnut. I did a little trespassing. I did give 2020 a compliment. I said their drone cams made sense to me. Or at least I just knew it. I knew the commands. Alright, let's run it forward. We'll watch this replay at the end. Alright, here we go. Let's watch it from the wing view. Yeah, Wingnut was allegedly banned 4 separate times. Time for a burner account. I'm running out of them, Bill's Mafia. I'm running out of burners, dude. Alright, let's see here. I think that was pretty buttery. I'll launch G's on the next one, but I don't know if it was legal. There's one runway stripe. There's another one. There's the end of the touchdown zone. It's getting thin. Oh, legal, 100%. I will bet 5 PMDG 777s that was legal. 50. I will buy every single member in the chat the 777 if that was illegal. 100% legal. 120% legal. Watch this. Close. I mean, we're down. We're so buttery. Let's go back. Yeah, see, had a whole nother stripe to go. We caught the last stripe. That was close. See? Here. We're down. There's the smoke from the touchdown. We're 100% legal. Pretty good center line there, actually. We caught the 4-wire. It's close. I mean, I'll take that. And then I started reading the chat and I disconnected the auto brakes. Now let's see what it actually looked like. Was it smooth? Did we get to see better? Oh, I gotta start G's. Ah, it wasn't that smooth actually. Let's see what G's has to say. Alright, G's is loaded. G's says 165. 165 with a double rainbow. 0.96 G, so I don't know how that's possible. I don't know how landing under 1 G is possible, considering the approach is done above 1 G. But, semantics, right? Alright, I'm going to let y'all have a replay. I'm going to get out of here. I think we're still going to do our turbine Duke stream. I don't know where we're going to go or what we're going to fly. Or I know we're going to fly the turbine Duke. I'm not sure where we're going to fly it yet. Probably a short flight if we do it here. And, yeah, it'll be coming up here at 4. Whenever I get done with this one, I'm going to just go live. So I don't know what I scheduled it for. I think I scheduled it for 4:30, but I might just start it right at the end of this stream. So stick around for that. It should be fun. But thank you all for tuning in on this one. I appreciate all the support. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for hitting that like button. If you haven't hit the like button, I invite you to hit it on the way out. Fireflyer, thanks for the 27-month support. Pre-recorded touchdown. We won our 777. No, Fireflyer. Get out of here, my man. 110% legal with a 165 touchdown. So definitely accept that after a very illegal procedure going through the mountains. That was a lot of fun. How cool was that? RNAV 3-2 into Bogota. Haven't done that in a while. Kind of glad I'm not down there right now. I don't know. It would have been fun, but I wonder if they'd be going around. I wonder if the weather is accurate. Probably would have landed 3-2 left. I'm not sure why I had 3-2 right in there. I saw 3-2 left from out here. Again, now you can see it because the weather's moved past. But that's why I love this sim, man. It's so cool. Like, so dynamic with the rain shafts and the weather moving through here. So enjoy the last arrival into Bogota. I'll see you on the next one. Stay safe. Stay healthy. I'm V1.